Everybody, I need you to know that there's a visitor today. He is right there. Hi, welcome back. Can you believe that it is April and I still haven't found a 5-star book? Yes, I know, that's crazy. Almost as crazy as the fact that I've already read almost 50 books. That has never happened to me. Never. I blame the fact that I watched Heated Rivalry and then went into, I called it a cultural fever and read almost 20 hockey romances. I may have done that. I don't regret it. I read some very, very awesome books. And reading queer books is also good for the soul. But I just crave that 5-star feeling. I realized that I've become a very harsh critic when it comes to 5-star books because I've read so much. I've been reading since I was 5. I never stopped. I have accumulated so many books in my cultural baggage, and now I just want good stuff. So what I did was I went on the internet and I asked myself, the internet, and you what your 5-star books were, what your 5-star prediction were, and so I compiled a list and I'm going to go through that with you. And if you have any other recommendations from 5-star books that you want me to read, that you recommend so much, please let me know in the comments. The first category is the books that I think are going to be 5-star because I'm in a mood. This is I'm in a mood category. The first one is the most I'm in a mood book I've ever seen. It's Famesick by Lena Dunham. If you don't know who Lena Dunham is, she is a very famous actress. She is very famously hated by the public for some reason, possibly because she always represents very interesting and irritating characters in her TV shows, and also she has a very wild love life and she details it all in this book. This is a memoir, and in here she details the relationship that she had with Jake Antonoff and the almost kind of relationship with Adam Driver. There's also Lord in this book, but there's also like self-image and the fact that she was diagnosed with endometriosis and she had, I think, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I just want to know. I am a nosy person. I want the gossip. I just want to know. I am one of those people who loves memoirs about very famous people who are also into niches, and this is exactly it. And also, the critics that have read this book told me, the public, that it's very poetically written. So, I mean, this one I'm almost certainly going to read this year, and I think it's going to be a 5 stars. Like, this one is the most sure I've been with a book. The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman. If you don't know, Lev Grossman, one of my favorite authors, he wrote the Magician's Trilogy. And I love this trilogy with all of my heart. I think he is an incredible writer, especially in the prose. He uses such beautiful prose and such witty too. Like you're laughing out loud to a joke that was so beautifully constructed. I think there are very few writers who can write like him. The Magicians was about so much, but it was a parody that became its own thing about Narnia and Harry Potter. It got very gruesome by the end. And it was very beautiful, very magical academy, especially in the first book. The first book is my favorite. It has such compelling characters, again, irritating, complex. And The Bright Sword is an Arthurian retelling. And it's also queer. Everything that you're telling me, you're telling me all of the things that I love. And it's also Lev Grossman, so. And the next one I'm most hesitant about because I have history with this book. It's Vessel of Woven Night. This is the 4th book in a series that I think was supposed to be 5 books. I think it's going to be more. Maybe about more characters, I don't know. The first book is The Prince of the Sorrows. Prince of the Sorrows is, I always describe it as the Crow Prince if it was queer, but the protagonist is a little bit different. Saffron is not Jude at all. He's a little bit more mellow, but also such a strong character that gets tempered by trauma. If you like the fays and the fairies and the hobgoblins in The Crow Prince, you'll definitely like this series. And it's also like, and in this series, love it to death. The 3rd book was so good. First one is already good, but the third one, and then I tried to read the fourth one, and I realized since so much time had passed since I had read the third one, that I had forgotten a lot of the important details. So I was like, I am going to reread the third one, and this is what I'm going to do in a future vlog that you're going to see after this one. This one I'm most hesitant about because I forgot so much, but I know that I love this series and I want to finish it, and I think the next book is going to come out this year, so pinky promise that I'm going to read it. Okay, next category is I asked the internet. And by the internet, I meant TikTok, because I spend most of the time there. So I scrolled on social media, searching book recommendations, got here, and I found these videos. So the first one, I think it was by Yana Reeds.
He just threw a knife at her ankle and it landed.
I know of her because she, Mariana, and Larry, I believe, are huge on booktube and also on booktok, and they are all friends, and she really loved the Jasad hair. I've seen so many people talking about this book. This is a Egyptian inspired fantasy book. It's a high fantasy with a subplot of romance, I think. A lot of people were calling it a romantasy, but it's not. I checked. I am such an Egyptian mood. I was an Egyptian kid. I was not a Greek mythology kid. I was an Egyptian myth kid. So this was written for me. This was written for me, and I believe the protagonist is a jinn. So cool. And the next one is a book that it's a little bit weird to describe. It's Sterling House by Alex E. Harrow. That really, by the plot, reminds me of Catherine House, a book that everybody hated and I loved because it had a little bit of an open ending and open questions at the end. I loved Catherine House. Sterling House apparently is all about the atmosphere, very gothic, very creepy, very suffocating. So Sterling House, it's about a town in Kentucky that it's only famous because this famous, I think, writer, the reclusive 19th century author and illustrator who wrote The Underland, was living there and then disappeared, and then the house appeared, Sterling House. And everybody thinks that it's a haunted house. You really should steer clear of that. But Opal, our protagonist, gets a job that gets her into the house, and then she starts to feel right at home in it, even though some very weird stuff are beginning to happen. And I love a haunted house. It's one of my favorite things, especially because the atmosphere of a haunted house, it's so, I don't know, creepy and gives you the heebie-jeebies. Love that. And apparently the prose in here, very good. So it just mixes all of the things that I love. And the third one that I found on the internet was The Raven Scholar.
There is a book that I read this year that is so good that to tell you anything else about it would be sacrilege. That book is this. It's The Raven Scholar.
Another book that everybody's talking about. I think the hype is similar in the way that people are talking about it to The Will of the Many. The Will of the Many, I think, was a very big disappointment for me. It was still a good book, but not as hyped. Like, not as good as everybody was making it out to be, I think, on my part, especially in the writing. But here, the writing gets praised so much. I'm going to read this to you because there are a lot of very foreign words, at least for me. Let us fly now to the Empire of Oron, where after 24 years of peace, Berson the Brusque must end his reign. In the dizzying heat of midsummer, 7 contenders compete to replace him. They are exceptional warriors, thinkers, strategists, the best of the best. Then one of them is murdered. The protagonist, called Nima Kra, she is the emperor, brilliant, idiosyncratic high scholar. She has to find the killer before the trial have to hand. And there's political intrigue, there's magical intrigue, and this is one of my favorite things. I've been craving something a little bit political with trials, with murder, ever since I read Robin Hobb's books. I think about Robin Hobb so much. I'm going to talk about her later. Don't you worry. If she succeeds, she will win the throne. If she fails, death awaits her, but she won't let that happen. I think that that especially is a little bit of a cliche. It really reminded me of the beginning of, I think, Throne of Glass. I read the first Throne of Glass. I found it not good. But this one, this one could be incredible, especially since so many people love it so much, and it's a very long book. It's almost 700 pages, and I love a good long book. And the last book in this category, it's a little bit of a cop-out because I found a video that actually recommended this.
I think Dragonfall is criminally underrated because all these people want a queer romantasy, and then when one comes out, there's no hype around it.
But then I went on to Goodreads, and I saw that the first review was Robin Hobbs. And I mean, she's my favorite writer, possibly my favorite fantasy writer ever. She wrote the Realm of the Elderlings series. You can find them on my bookshelf somewhere. And she recommends Dragonfall by Al Erlam. This book has a 3.35 on Goodreads, which is usually the telltale sign that I'm going to fucking love it. I love a good 3.2. A 3.3. It's my jam, especially because fantasy series, sci-fi series, they usually have either a 4.5 or a 3.2, and right there are all of my favorite books. I'm going to read this to you, and then I'm going to read what Robin Hobbs said. Because long ago, humans betrayed dragons, stealing their magic and banishing them to a dying world. Centuries later, their descendants worship dragons as gods, but the gods remember and they do not forgive. A thief, Arcady scrapes living on the streets of Vatra. Desperate, Arcady steals a powerful artifact from the bones of a plague bringer, the most hated person in Lumet history. Only they know the artifact's magic holds the key to a new life among the nobles at a court and a chest for revenge. This is a queer fantasy, high fantasy book with dragons. And if you know anything about me, once again, I fucking love dragons. Dragons are my favorite thing, especially when they are dragons. They're not like shifters, they're not human-like, they are dragons, like ancient being. Cool motherfuckers. That's what I'm going to say. Cool motherfuckers. In the realm of the Elderlings in Robin Hobbs' books, they're very, very annoying, but also so cool. And this is what Robin Hobb in her 5-star review has to say. Things you will find here that may be exactly what you love in fantasy. Strong characters with any and all genders. A reluctant romance, assassins, thieves, magical artifacts that are sought after, a disease that can doom you to being an outcast, ethical dilemmas, my favorite thing, and strong friendships. Yes, 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 especially because this talks about gender, this has genderqueer characters. Oh, I just know that I'm going to give it 5 stars and upset all of the other Goodreads readers. And then my third category is the open-ended category. So this is the part where you can recommend me all of the books that you want, all of the books that you found were so good, 5 stars, maybe niches, maybe only you know those books, and I'm going to read them for a vlog that I have already started because a lot of people were going on my TikTok. I asked there, what are your 5-star predictions for the next year and what were your favorite books of last year? So I have a good list accumulated, but I can still add to it for the video. So if you have any books that you want to recommend me, this is the place to do so. So this video is over. I cannot wait to read all of these books, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, I have some socials. They're down below. If you want to connect with me, find time there, especially on TikTok where I ask all the questions. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Mwah.